Welcome to Impact OC, the only program showcasing the people and organizations shaping Orange County. With your host, Don Camber.
Hello, live from the OC Talk Radio studios at UCI's Beal Applied Innovation Center. I'm OC Talk Radio Public Affairs Director Don Camber with another great guest impacting our community in a positive way. Today, I welcome Miracles for Kids CEO and founder Autumn Strier. The organization helps families brought down by the devastation of a critically ill child focus on the child, not the necessities of life, such as food, clothing, and shelter. Thank you, Autumn, for being on Impact OC.
Very excited to be here, Dawn. Thank you so much for having me.
Autumn, please explain how Miracles for Kids helps families in this difficult stage of their lives.
You know, when a family is dealing with a child battling a life-threatening illness, all of their resources, whether it's emotional or financial, really have to focus on the child. And what happens is it creates devastation in the other aspects of their life. They're able to hold on for jobs for a little bit, savings for a little bit, maybe keep siblings and other family members stable for a little bit. But the thing about a life-threatening illness is it's got maybe months, if not years, of dedicated resources and time that a family needs to spend. And that devastates the entire family. Everything falls apart.
So how are you able to help?
We really focus on 4 core areas. We pay the bills, we provide housing, we provide wellness programs, really dealing in therapy, battling stress, anxiety, and depression for all members of the family. And then we provide clothing and other basic needs to keep families stable. And we do that year round. And on average, a family is with us about 4 years.
So explain your clients.
Our clients are amazing. The thing about our clients is they are not only battling for their child's life and stability, but they're keeping their family stable. So every day they wake up with an incredible goal. What they don't have are the resources to make it happen. And that's where Miracles for Kids steps in. The families that we serve are low income. They live within 69% at or below the poverty line. And we're talking the low 20,000s for a family of 4. We're all dealing with the economy right now and the potential of a recession in the fall, and really all of us looking at how to remain stable. Could you imagine a family of 4 trying to do that with a $20,000 to $25,000 income a year? It's an incredible reality for families, but it's what they face.
So you have requirements in order for you to help them?
Well, they need to be battling a life-threatening illness, be in treatment at one of the hospital families that we serve, and we serve most children's hospitals throughout the state of California. It's application only. You can't call us up and get financial aid. We really work with the primary care physician, the treating physician at the hospitals, and it's our social workers at the hospitals that are really the lifeline from a family to Miracles for Kids. It's them that serve as the advocate getting the application to us. From that point on, we really pay attention to their income, their expenses, any qualified needs that they have. And once they're into our program, then they access all 4 of our core areas, and that ongoing support is provided for as long as they need it.
Now, we're talking kids, so what is the age range?
Well, we serve between newborn to 21 years old. So as long as they are in treatment at one of our hospitals that we serve, so you're thinking Chalk Children's here in Orange County, as well as those 2 children's hospitals in LA, so CHLA and Mattel Children's, as well as others like Loma Linda, Rady Children's. All of the families are in desperate need. And here's an incredible thing. Every hospital that we serve has a wait list for our services.
So how do you handle that?
Well, we reach out into the community just like we're doing today, share who we are and how we help, and try and engage private individuals, companies, grant writers. We try to get as much help as we can. We're 100% privately funded, and we do it by just reaching out to the community, throwing events like other nonprofits, and really doing as much advocacy as we can on behalf of the families.
Well, what kind of events do you put on?
We have 3 signature events that we do every year. So we have a golf tournament. We do that at the beautiful Santa Ana Country Club, which we love and are so grateful to continue to do our tournament there. It's so beautiful. We have our annual gala, which is in the fall every year. This year it's October 8th. It's at the Waldorf Astoria Monarch Beach Resort, I think is the new name for that beautiful place. And then we partner actually with the Orangewood Foundation and Big Brothers Big Sisters and several other children's charities in a tournament that takes place in Mexico. It's in Cabo at the end of June, and it's a 4-day fishing and golf tournament, music festival by the Honda Center. A pretty incredible opportunity. And in that way, we partner with other organizations, and together we can do so much more, trying to raise funds for the families that we serve.
What made you create this organization?
There's a lot of things that go into that question. I was on the receiving side of charity as a child. I know what it's like to be hungry. I know what it's like to be homeless. I know what it's like to go through stages in your life where you do not have resources, where you are literally scared to death about how things are going to take place, and where your place in the world might be the next day. I've never had to deal with health in that whole scenario. So the idea that as a child you also are facing health as your great equalizer, and we all know that it is, it's an enormous undertaking for any child, any family member. So I decided very early on that I would dedicate my life to service. I'm a political science major in undergrad, but I actually went to graduate school. I have a master's in public administration, which is to run governments and nonprofits. So I really have spent all of my professional life dedicated to public service, and I've been a volunteer and continue to be a volunteer almost my entire life.
Now, when it comes to the ailments, can you name what they are that would enable people to get your services?
About 60% of the time, our families apply with a child battling cancer. A form of cancer, right? There's so many, there's more than you can even list. But the interesting thing is that we have probably 10 to 15% in any given year that are dealing with what's called an orphan disease, or a rare disease that maybe doesn't have enough of a support on a national or a global basis to get the recognition that, something like leukemia or lymphoma, or something that is a more recognizable name, might be identified by most of the community. It's those rare populations that need our help as well. So when writing the mission statement, now this is back December in 2004, it just made sense that we include that type of demographic. And then over the years, as our fundraising has increased, we've been able to add conditions as well. So heart condition, liver transplant, kidney failure. We have a lot of families that have a child with that are on a wait list for an organ, or are battling with heart disease or other extraordinary circumstances. And you're talking about children who might be 5, 6 days old, or just starting high school, or how about just starting college?
So what about housing? How are you able to help them with that?
Well, we do provide payments for rent on a monthly basis, and it tends to be among the number one requests of our families. In addition to that, we have Miracle Manor. Miracle Manor is a 12-unit apartment complex that houses families long-term, at least 2 years at a time, where they can move in. It's here in Orange County. It's about a half mile from Chalk Children's, and it's right at the crush. So there's plenty of pharmacies and restaurants and grocery stores and everything else a family needs if they don't have transportation. The families that live there, really, we work a higher level of casework for those families. We speak to them on a daily, if not weekly basis. We are helping them to really rebuild their lives, but remain as a family unit, which is so important. Family needs to stay together, become stable. Maybe they need to go through an emotional rehabilitation period, financial rehabilitation, because this can be so devastating. And they also, as a bonus, get to have an environment of 11 other families going through something similar. So it really creates a community, a community of people banding together at the most extraordinary times in their lives.
Now, we've heard of Ronald McDonald House, which also does some of the similar things. Explain the differences.
Ronald McDonald House does extraordinary things nationwide, and we have a lot of families that spend some time there. Really what they do, in Orange County at least, is provide a place for families who need a place to stay. Short term, now they could be for weeks or months, of course. They have rooms inside Chalk Children's, and then they also have a facility that is right near the hospital. That is what they focus on. Miracles for Kids is really focused on more of a 3 to 4 year period of time, where we're looking at long-term stability, walking alongside a family, covering all of their needs. So therapy programs, really getting them more stable financially, emotionally, and then really dealing with long-term basic needs, whether it's rent, finding housing, food, gas in the car, paying down bills so that they can have transportation. Those are the multi-pronged approaches that we take. I'm certain that Ronald McDonald House has other things that they focus on as well, and possibly I just don't know what they are, but incredible organization.
Well, take us through what it's like for a person to contact you to seek services, to get services, and then remain with with you for a few years?
Again, it comes through the hospital. The social workers are the ones that identify those families who have a child in treatment and who are in need of financial support. They provide them with an application, and from that point on, it's a conversation between the family members and Miracles for Kids. And we have a client services rep that meets with them. We really focus on casework. They have someone who walks alongside them, filling out the application, identifying not just the financial needs, but really how is the family's mental health? What are the needs of the siblings who often get overlooked, not because the family means to, but because they're in crisis mode? Can they get to the hospital? There is an incredible story that I just heard this week. We have so many families who are, imagine you're in treatment out at maybe Chalk Children's, right? So that's here in Orange, but you are driving in from maybe 80, 90 miles away. So Mojave Desert, out in the Inland Empire, maybe out past Palm Springs. Your child needs to be at the doctor 3 times a week. We all know the price of gas right now is extraordinary. How is a family member going to make a decision between putting food on the table for their family or driving their child to and from the hospital when it's going to cost them everything they have? These are the families that we support.
And you support them by giving them money to pay for their bills and to keep them close to their child.
We actually don't give money directly to a family. We provide a family with checks that go directly to an approved vendor. So as somebody, say a family member says, you know what, I am overdoing my gas bills or my electric bills, or I can't access my car because it's at the auto shop and I can't pay it, or I'm about to be evicted. They'll submit the bill. We'll vet it. We'll make sure that it's a known vendor that's got a great, that's filed their taxes and has a great standing in the community, and we'll pay those bills directly. We don't ever provide funds directly to a family because when you're in crisis, there's a possibility that you won't make a good decision. And our goal is to really focus on the stability, the core stability needs. And that's, making sure that they have a roof over their head, food on the table, and gas in the car.
Now, unfortunately, many of your kids don't make it. So do you still follow the family when that happens?
We do. I don't think follow might be the word I'd use. I'd say that we try to remain in their circle. Certainly social media allows us to stay connected. We've lost so many children over the years, but we have some beautiful stories of how their memories have lived on in them through volunteering to support other families of those who are being treated at local hospitals and served by Miracles for Kids.
Can you explain that?
I don't know if I can explain it as much as to say that, when you're with your child for so many years and the people that are around you during that battle, and for us, many of our families were with them for so many years, there's a bond that's created. It's this rare space, right, that you're in where you share the emotion that you go through, you share the ups and downs. In a lot of cases, a child will go into remission. They'll become stable, they'll start their life, and then they'll be back. They've relapsed, and then possibly the family's lost them. I think the memories that go along with that and those people that knew them when they were alive is so important. I know it's incredibly impactful to my staff, to all of us, especially our board of directors. We have an incredible board that have been with us for many, many years, and many of them have close relationships with those that we serve.
Now, staff, explain how much staff do you have? Do you have volunteers? How does it work?
Well, we do have a full staff of about 20 to 22 that work out of our Irvine office and support all of the hospitals that are up and down the coast and the families in treatment there. And we have hundreds of volunteers. We are so extraordinarily grateful for the hundreds of volunteers that we have. And they serve us in a variety of different ways. We have multiple school clubs, whether it's elementary school, middle school, high school, or college. We have an incredible corporate partnership program where many of the leading corporations in the area engage their employees in volunteer days, in give back days, in employee contribution programs. But the thing that I think is the most fun for a lot of the employees and the school clubs is getting to come to our office where we do some really neat things with those volunteers that come. And one that comes to mind, Experian, I think you know the company.
Oh, yeah.
They did a bike build in LA, and it was a corporate day for them. They had managers and executives flying in from all over the nation for sort of a team building event. We went and shared the mission and got them involved in in really just how those bikes could really benefit our family. And then we took those bikes, they brought them to our offices after they'd built them, and then they were part of us giving them to families whose children had no bicycles. What an incredible experience and life-changing for somebody to get their first bike, right?
Totally. So explain what it's like to have a family being served by your organization and being grateful to have your organization so that they don't have to worry about the other aspects of life, just focusing on the child.
I think it's just relief. It's just one less thing when a family, when parents, caregivers, grandparents, whoever's, in charge of the child's well-being, it's just incredibly important that they don't have to also worry about paying a bill. And I think it's just relief that we provide. Stability isn't a light term at our organization. Stability truly means financial, emotional, dealing with all of those aspects. And every time we come up with a new aspect that needs to be served, we create a program, give it a name, roll it out, and try and find someone to help us.
Well, and you deal with siblings of children who are in the hospital. Explain how you handle that.
Well, we approach the families holistically. So Miracles for Kids doesn't serve the child. It serves the entire family. On any given day at the organization, we have 300 plus families that we're serving in any one of our programs. The core is, of course, paying the bills like we talked about. But every month, thanks to those volunteers that I was mentioning, we also ship boxes. We call them kindness boxes. And every month we have a different theme. So we've got the Sunshine box that's just gone out thanks to the amazing employees at Board Riders up in Huntington Beach. We've got the Sparkle box that's coming. So each box is filled with whatever donations come in, whether it's socks, sunglasses, sunscreen, it could be gift cards, it could be coloring books, wellness items like journals. We fill them all up and we ship them out, and that's year round. And then we have these massive basket of miracles deliveries that take place. Now that includes for every family several boxes of fresh, frozen, canned, and dry goods, all going to the doorstep of every family. And if we can't drive there, we'll ship them. And we have a lot of great people who fill their car loads and they drive around for us. And I think that's incredible. It's not just for the family. I think the gratitude really comes on the side of the person that gets to deliver. I've done it every single year for the 18 years that I, have been part of Miracles. It's the most rewarding experience I think an individual can have, is being there for someone else in their time of extraordinary need.
And how can people get involved if they want to get a piece of that and feel good helping?
Oh my gosh. So there's so many opportunities, but I would say for anyone listening that wants to get involved, just give us a call at the office. Check out our website. It's miraclesforkids.org. We've got lots of folks that'll answer the phone and share information.
Thank you, Miracles for Kids CEO and founder Autumn Strier, for being on Impact OC. And I thank everyone for tuning in. I'm OC Talk Radio Public Affairs Director Dawn Camber. Have an impactful day.
You've been listening to Impact OC, the only program showcasing the people and organizations shaping our community. Right here on Orange County's only community radio station, OC Talk Radio.